right, who used to teach me Nazrul Giti. Kaji Nazrul Islam is a national poet of Bangladesh, right? And we also worship him the way we do Rabindranath Tagore and any other poets, for the matter of
And
fact.
what's the name, sorry?
Kaji Nazrul Islam.
Right, okay.
Right? So I started off really with Nazrul Giti, right? It's a semi-classical kind of a music, wonderful songs with equally good lyrics, yeah. And then at around age of 14, I went to Srila Bandhopadhyay, and that is when my classical journey started. And yeah, it was fantastic. I used to wait for those Wednesday, evenings, and I used to get a lesson for around 2 hours with my mom.
Wow.
And yeah, that journey is still continuing.
So talk about what would happen in, so we call it riyaz, that would be riyaz. What happens in the riyaz sessions? What time does it start? What kind of warm ups and that do you have to do? And like how, I'm curious to know because I've obviously never. When you hear my voice, you'll know I've never had a singing lesson. But what happens in them sessions?
Right. So they will pick a particular raga, yeah, and depending on when do you go for taking those sessions. So ragas varies from morning till afternoon till evening till late night, right? So, right. So for example, if it is raga Yaman, so we will do a basic Vilambit in Yemen, right? And we will practice in the 7 tunes, sargams we call it, and there'll be tabla of course accompanying us and dhima, ektal, and yeah, that is how it would be. Vilambit followed by few drut, few tan we call it, and tan also has like bol tan. Bol tan means you will have the bol banavat on it, right? And you will say like sarigama Regamapa, right? And that is what we call as Boltan. And then there'll be Alankar, a way of practicing dance, right?
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, that is how it will be. And then.
And what were your strengths? So when you go into your sessions, what would your Guruji say? Okay, say and give us this rag.
I was good in Drut, right?
Drut, and what does Drut mean?
Drut means the last part of a classical presentation, which is will be a kind of 3 or 4 lines, and then you have to portray and
you have to sing it your own way.
Yes.
Okay, so give me a drut, and then not that I'm going to copy, but I just want to hear a drut. So we're creating a hypothetical situation here. So a drut. Is it hard? Is it difficult? I mean, if it's difficult, you don't have to sing, but I'm so curious.
That's fine. I can give it a try. Like if I talk about Rag Yaman, because I just spoke about it, so
yeah.
I'll give it a try. Neya mudi pad lagaye ja, neya mudi pad lagaye ja, tum bina kaun mo lagaye ja, tum bina kaun mo lagaye ja. Neya mudi pad lagaye ja, neya mudi pad lagaye ja.
Wow.
That's kind of.
So how do you get nay? How do you do that whole? How does that
That's
happen?
what we call alankar. Yeah, that's how you.
So is
practice.
that the wobble is the alankar?
Yes. So you practice alankar in various forms, right? And yeah, you have various permutation and combination, and those are not easy, really. I'm still learning.
You're still learning.
Yeah.
So this was your teenage level. You were learning this rag, and look again. I'm looking at your biography. Satya Bhartade and Shamal Kaku.
Yes.
So who were they?
So Shobto Kaku was my first.
Shobto Kaku.
Yeah, yes, was my first Nazrul Giti teacher, right? And he used to bring in Shamal Kaku, who was playing. Who used to play tabla with me, right?
Yeah.
And those semi-classical form of songs are very rich in tal, right? And without the accompaniment of tabla, it will not sound as great as it should, right?
Okay.
So Shamal Kaku used to come in, and that was my great days of musical lesson, because once you start listening to the tunes of tabla, then it really encourages you, or probably adds in a lot of honey to the overall presentation.
And what did you learn from them, and how did that shape you as a singer?
So well asked. So I think, as I said, Nazrul Giti is mainly semi-classical music, so it helps you to shape your voice, to get various kind of rendition and alankar, as I would say, right? to get it to the right tunes. And because Shamal Kaku was also accompanying, so I also got to know the various kind of tals that we have. For example, tin tal, rupak, chap tal, the various matras of it, and that would really help me to understand what is 8 or 6 or 16 tal means, right? And what is alankar, or for example a particular murki means.
Okay.
So that largely helped me to.
What has all from your guides? You talk about your gurus, your guides. What are some of the key advice that you've took from them and really kind of embedded them in your practice?
I think the first thing first is sur, yeah. Kuch bhi gao, sur mein gao. So whatever you're singing, sing in tune, yeah.
How do you sing in tune though? Sur mein kaise gaate ho? Like, for non-singers like me, how would you sing in? How could we discipline ourselves to sing in sur?
I
Or
think
you
that
either
only
have it
comes
or you
with
don't.
practice. No, that only comes with practice, and as I say, we are still learners of that, right? So
Yeah.
that's the first, I would say, mantra of music, that you have to sing in tune, no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
The lyrics could be great, the tal could be great, but then if you are off tune, then it doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. Second is, of course, pay emphasis to the lyrics that you're pronouncing, because that carries a lot of sense. Because yeah, I mean, lyrics along with tune makes what music is, right? And they both go hand in hand. So yeah, that was the second part. Third is, of course, tal. Yeah. So if you don't understand beats, then you will not be able to put the circles on, and you'll not be able to present it to the way it needs to be presented. So these three together, and of course you just practice, practice, and practice.
And if your gurus were sat here today with you, what would you say to each of them? Or what would they say to you?
I think they will say, I still lack tune, I still pronounce bad, and I still.
Are you being too harsh on yourself?
No, I think yeah, I mean, they would say that I need to practice more, probably, because there's no end to it, as I always say, Neetal. And I think yeah,
And what would you say to them?
I think the
May
blessing.
also kuga, may also
Yeah,
kuga.
blessing, and yes, more and more and more.
Wow. And are you in touch with your gurus? Do you still speak
Yes.
to them? Oh, regularly. Now, just before we go on to obviously the next part of your journey, are these lessons expensive? Are they for?
No, not in Kolkata. Not in
Kol-
Kolkata. In this part of the country, they are. Yeah. So here it is around £20 an hour, and northwest of England. But then in India, back on those days, it was hardly around 200 rupees, and I don't know how to translate that.
Really?
Yeah. And that is 200 rupees a month, but that is the
So
80s
you don't
I'm talking
necessarily have
about.
to be privileged to have music lessons.
No, definitely not.
Wow.
Definitely not.
So, we're going to go on to talking about some of your role models, but just before that, I'd love to hear your rendition of Chupki, that one.
Spare me with that, because that's too difficult, and Gulam Ali is like Bhagwan. वो बहुत अच्छा गाते हैं.
अच्छा, नहीं, लेकिन आपका नहीं version. Have you not got a version of your?
No, that's too risky.
Okay, so sing your favorite. Which one? Because which one did you sing at the show last week? And I was like, and I had to record it because you sang some really beautiful ones, didn't you?
I'll try that.
Take it away.
Ma pa dha sa sa ni pa re re na ha ra sa sa re re pa pa ma ga अंगना फूल खिलेंगे आओ के जब तुम साजना अंगना फूल खिलेंगे बरसेगा सावन बरसेगा सावन बरसेगा सावन बरसेगा सावन झूम झूम के दो दिल ऐसे मिलेंगे जब तुम साजना अंगना फूल खिलेंगे.
Wow.
Thank you.
Beautiful! From the film Jab We Met, and
Yes.
a beautiful song. So who are your role models, and why?
I think I'll first start with Hariharanji, because a lot of semi-classical rendition and singing genre with equal ease came from Hariharanji to me, and I really admire him a lot, respect him a lot. So yeah, I've just probably pronounced it. Why? It is because the way he has sung Tuhire, uh, you'll probably find equal expertise when you hear him sing, say, Krishna of Colonial Cousins, and you'll also find equal ease when you hear Bharat Humko Jaan Se Pyara Hai. Yeah, for example, Hazir. It's an iconic album, ghazal album to us, right? So that is his, I would say, beauty and expertise. He can sing ghazal, he can sing a Bollywood baby number, or he can sing a Western, piece with equal ease. So that's very fun for me, and that's what I aim to be always. I always think that I should be able to sing any genre with equal, expertise and ability.
And how much time do you get to actually practice today?
I try and do it 2 hours every day, but that is nothing if you ask me, Neetal. But that's what I'm even struggling to, because I'm a full-time technology person. So, but there shouldn't be any excuse to that. But I'm still trying to stretch that beyond my.
And what is your home like now with music? What kind of influences of music is there in your home?
I think my mom and dad, as I say, my mom Gitali Gupta was a sitar player, and she's my biggest critic. As I
Still at
stand,
home, Abhi?
yes,
Yeah.
as I stand, as I speak, right. So after every program or after every practice session, she'll definitely find a number of flaws, right, and I think I learn from her the most even today.
And what does your why has your mum stopped music and sitar?
Yeah, I was fearing you asking me this. I think it is family.
Yeah.
Family pressure, because when you are in a joint family, you have to cook, and during those days you didn't have liberty to have a cook, right, who would come and cook, and you just pay them off, right. So it was absolutely dependent on my mom, and she was the first so-called bahu of that family.
Bahurani.
Yes. And yeah, so she had to do a lot of household work. We had a 3-story house with 17 people in, of all age, right, and managing them and living up to the expectation was never easy.
Yeah.
And that how eventually laid down her ability or influence or interest towards classical music.
And is she still doing a little bit at the moment, Abhi?
No, I really push her a lot, but then she generally is almost on to her tears, because she was a Bisharab in music. That means she completed 6th year in sitar, and that was very close to her, but because she left that, she doesn't just want to pick it again.
Tell Auntie to come in here. We will force her to do it.
I'll pass that message.
Yeah, Shall Auntie Neetal said you must come.
Yeah.
Now your next song that you've selected is Ayo Kaha Se Ganesham, from the movie. Gosh, I did have the movie down. I don't know. No.
I haven't. Yeah, it is not in my head.
But it's Manade.
Yeah, it's just my head.
And you selected this, why?
I think emotion. That song has enormous and emotion pouring from all corners. I think it's a wonderful song.
Here we are. Ayo Kaha Se Ganesham.